thing about the Medicare Cafe. Not that there's not a lot of sad things about the Medicare Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
The saddest part about the Medicare Cafe is that our viewers do not get to see the moments leading up to Medicare Cafe.
We need a behind the scenes.
We don't need a behind the scenes. We don't want to keep our jobs. We do not need a behind the scenes.
We need a behind the scenes that has like a 3-minute delay that we could pause in case we need to.
No, because our producer's the problem.
He's like, yeah, you're all going down.
This is how the conversation just went with, I'm going to give you 3 guesses to ask what's in my cup. And I was dangerously close to the answer with my first guess of spiders. And that was just like, shoot. Got it. Got it.
Surely, most people would go for liquids. Nope.
No.
Can't pull a fast one past this one.
I saw a video and it cracks me up, but it's so much like when men or boys or something have something in their hand like this and they bring it to a woman, a lady, if you will, and they say, open your hand. All of them think you're giving me a bug. Everybody thinks like if you walked over to me and it seems like it's like if a girl does it to a girl, they're like, what's up? If a guy does it to a guy, they're like, okay. If a guy has his hand like this and gives like, hey, like let me hand, like I want to hand this to you in a closed fist to a girl.
Open your hand.
If you do that, all of them go, absolutely not. You're giving me a bug. And all of them like just will say the same. Is it a bug? Is it a bug? So at the end of the day, boys are still gross. It doesn't matter how old you are. You're gross and you play with bugs and women don't trust you because of the bugs, primarily. Primarily because of the bugs.
Not even primarily because of the bugs? Wait, we can fix this, guys. We can fix this. We can turn ourselves around. We can turn ourselves around.
Welcome to the Medicare Cafe, my friends. You were joined by your host, as always. My name's Olivia Richardson.
And my name is Benjamin Lavis.
And we are excited to just be back. We have so much going on, so much to talk about. I love the interaction that we've been getting on the cafe episodes recently. Last week was super, super special. Thanks to our friends and Will and Terry and all these people asking a lot of questions about the appointment process. We said we really got to shorten that appointment process, get you the most bang for your buck because time is money. And there was a lot of questions about like how to do that. Before we get into today's real content, did you get a new watch?
Yes, I did.
Nice. I don't know anything about watches. What is it?
It's a fossil.
Ooh.
And not just that it's really old.
Got it.
It's me and my brother got like not matching, but like brother watches.
Brother watches.
They're related because they came from the same manufacturer.
Brother watches.
Like brothers.
That's more like cousins.
Well,
maybe we have this different dynamics.
Right. It's like, like you have a bracelet on. That's the same as a watch. Moving on.
Anyway.
I was just like, you said shorten the time. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
I have a prop for this.
I have a prop.
My whole gig this year is I need to have a prop for everything.
Oh, everybody. And when you see...
I'm going to start bringing bugs on.
No.
I'm bringing a lot of bugs.
You had a prop for 2025, and it was the cowboy hat and now bolo tie. We don't have
boots.
And boots. We don't have the time to go into the identity crisis that was been in 2025 that is continuing in 2026. You don't understand. I'm spying.
Where's my girl Pam Stout? Where's my girl Pam?
Pam loved the cowboy hat, and Pam is alone.
She's my biggest supporter.
Yep. Anyways, before we get into the content today, talking about shortening the appointments, good morning and stop bugging us. Good morning. Yeah, he got it. He did good.
That's good. I like that. Write that one down.
Huge announcement coming in from the Medicare Cafe world. I am so excited. Kind of found it on accident and something that we always knew, but I was like kind of looking through some stuff and I saw this big celebration that a social media site told me to celebrate. And I was like, oh, that does seem like a big deal. Guys, Medicare Cafe this year in 2026 is celebrating our 10th year of Medicare Cafe. 10th years of Medicare Cafe Gold. That's insane. So not only is like Medicare Cafe probably your favorite way to get your industry updates, your industry notes, industry trainings. Of course, it's your favorite way because it's just the pure raw charisma just oozing out from the screen.
The bugs.
I knew oozing was a poor choice. I knew it, but I went with it because I had trust there. And just like the bugs, gives me reasons not to. But we are the longest standing podcast in this field, in this industry, going in and being an agent-facing podcast. We are the longest standing media format in this industry. So I'm so excited. Wow. Medicare Cafe has gone through And Michelle's 10th year as an agent.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That's cool.
Medicare Cafe, for those of you guys the real OGs who've been here back in 2016 when we started, you've seen kind of all the iterations of what Medicare Cafe has looked like, the hosts that we've brought through this, the times that we've had. So we're going to be doing a ton throughout the entire year, celebrating 10 years of content, 10 years of fun, 10 years of edutainment. This is what I call this format. Education meets entertainment, this edutainment. So we're going to be doing a lot to celebrate that. But like, I just, first of all, just wanted to say thank you guys for sticking with us this entire time. Thank you. If you've been with us for the entire 10 years, or if you are new, you just maybe found a video and you're kind of joining the cafe family, welcome to you. But thank you guys so much for doing this. You guys are the reason we get to keep coming back week after week, and why 10 years later I'm somehow still employed. So thank you guys so incredibly much. What would help out, something we're really going to be leaning into this year to help out the show, is going to be subscribing to our content. If you subscribe, or you push like, you subscribe to our content, it will alert you when we go live and let you know when we post new content. So that helps us, that helps the show, to get more people to learn about us, to get more people to discover us. That's going to be huge going into our 10th year. And today is my 13th year in the industry. So today's my work anniversary, my 13th year doing this, 10th year with the cafe. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for being cool and hanging out with us.
We should all go around and say, what were we doing 10 years ago?
No, we're not going to do that because it's going to make me very sad.
No, not like right now, like as like a bit. As
a bit?
Yeah.
What were we doing 10 years ago?
Yeah. Just a little bit.
I don't want to know what you guys were doing 10 years ago. You were children. You were babies.
That's not true.
I was working. Probably.
With all of that out of the way, let's get into, this is a big day of content, and I do have a hard stop because I have a call at 10:30 that will, if I get to be on that call, it means I get to keep doing this. So I do need to be on that call at 10:30. Okay. But we have a big day of content. What I wanted to talk about today primarily was your appointment process. Last cafe, like I mentioned, we had a ton of people asking questions about how do you shorten the appointment? What is, every appointment's so different. So we'll post some stuff about what we call the 8-step appointment process. And we've done this training, we've done videos. Actually, on our university, we have an entire video dedicated to the 8-step appointment process and a white paper. So we can't get into it in depth today because, again, time constraints and like the attention span. I don't have it. I don't know that you have it. But what the purpose of the 8-step selling process is that your sales process should be exactly that. You should not go into an appointment blind. You should not go into an appointment being like, I have no idea. We're just going to talk and see where this takes us. Yeah. It's like the equivalent that I have is every single time you go into a doctor's office, you might be going in there for different reasons. Sometimes you might be going in for chronic headaches. Other times you might be going in for glass in your foot. Sometimes you're going in there for sinus infections. All of these happened within a single month for me. And so, but you're going in there, but the process is the exact same every single time you do it. You walk in, you get a clipboard, you fill out your information, the people call you back, they get your height, your weight. You can't lie about it because why do they ask you for your weight if they're just gonna weigh you?
It's a social test.
It's on it. It truly is. Like, it's like, here, what's your weight? We're gonna see.
I walk around and I collect all the data and be like, how many liars did we have this time?
Yeah, truly. Anyways, so you're gonna do all that stuff and then you're gonna see the doctor. Now, when you see the doctor, they're going to ask you fact-finding questions. They're going to get some information from you. Now, what happens next is different. What do they prescribe? Are they going to say you need a specialist? Right. You need medicine. We need follow-up. You need to do these exercises. What they recommend you do may look different every time, but the process to gather that information and get you into that point where they can prescribe things is the same every time. And honestly, your appointment process needs to follow a step-by-step process so that, one, your consumers know, your clients know what to expect, and two, it helps you actually speed up the process and free up some of that time for more creative decision-making, creative thought processes, things like that.
One of the things you said very early on in my career here was that
I was a different person then. You don't know. I don't know her.
Success is based off of how well you can meet or exceed expectations.
That's a great point
that
I made. I was like, that's a good one.
It's going to be great no matter what I said. You knew the source. But But I think that it says something, because if you don't have an expectation either yourself for your own appointment or for what your client you are bringing in, then you're just flying by the seat of your pants every single time you're meeting with a client. And I don't know about, some of us love to live in chaos.
I thrive in chaos.
Exactly.
I am the chaos coordinator.
But others of us, guilty as charged, would love to know exactly a process, a system. What can I expect? That way I can focus what little brain I have left on the parts that are changing. Like, hey, I would like a supplement instead of an MA. Or, hey, I really need to talk to you about cancer insurance. And I'd much rather focus my time and energy on hearing my client instead of what are we going to do next? Oh, I hope and pray they don't ask about cancer insurance because I'm not ready. If you can remove all of those, not only does it get faster, but you become more confident as an agent as well.
And it helps you know what's working and what's not working. We were just, me and Will just had a meeting with, I think Tracy might be on today, but we just had a meeting with like our top insurance agent. They write as much, if not more business than some of our agencies write. Just had a meeting with them, kind of going into what their plans were for 2026. And their thing was like, we want to cross sell. And that's really, we want to grow. And, they just want to grow. And talking about that, a question that Will asked was, well, tell me what's stopping you from cross-selling. And the answer was, we really don't know. And it's because, like, if you know, where can we interject a phrase? Where can we interject a transition in a current sales process? Then it's a lot easier to say, like, is this working? Is this not? But if you're just chaos and you're just something new every single time, then there's no formula to test and there's no adjustments to make to see, like, is it working or do I need to make an adjustment?
Yeah, 100%.
So quickly, I'm going to go through what those 8-step selling processes, the 8 steps are. And then we can break down them a little bit, but what I would really encourage everybody to do is go to our university and actually look at this content for a full breakdown of what the 8-step selling process is. We also have a few videos on Senior Marketing Specialist YouTube page. So if you're not a member of the Senior Marketing Specialist YouTube page, then go there and search 8-step selling process. There's a ton of videos on there on our YouTube site as well. On the YouTubes.
Wait, before you say our 8s. If you're not watching live currently because you don't have the pleasure of doing this, pause the video, write down your steps, and then compare them to the ones that we have.
If you even have steps. Like, honestly, that's what I find out. Like, this is my 8-step selling process. What I find is if you have one that works for you, great. What we find more is that most agents don't even have a process. They make everything. And it's okay. Like, your clients don't even have to know that a process exists. You can make it very conversational. You can make it organic. Some agents work at a very, like, structured, they work it like a doctor's office. Other agents make it come across very conversational and easy. That's completely up to you, but you need to know what you're doing. Even if your clients are like, classic misdirection, look at the hand over here, or this one writes you insurance, that's fine, but you need to know what your process looks like. Okay, so here are the 8-step selling process. The number one selling step of the 8-step selling process is going to be, what is your door opener? Now, I kind of, when we do our trainings, I kind of gloss over that pretty quickly because the door opener is, at this point, it's not trying to, this is whenever like the appointment is set, they're expecting you. The door opener is reminding them why you're there and how you got there. So saying things like, Ben, remember you attended one of my seminars this last year. I was so excited to get to see you, meet you there, whatever the case may be. Or, hey, Ben, your neighbor's dog walker's cat named Myrtle, it was one of my clients. I know that they referred you to me. How's Myrtle doing? So just kind of setting, like, what is, like, a level playing field? What is it that got them? That how did you guys get to this point together?
100%.
The second step is going to be the warm-up. This is where I think a lot of agents tend to either make it or break it when it comes to beginning the relationship with their clients. Now, traditional sales warm-ups are going to be like, find things in common. There's like the family, income, things like that. Just like finding a relationship with them. I think that can work if you have like a really warm personality, but people really see through inauthenticity. So what I recommend, if you find yourself being somebody who's like, I'm not good at small talk, I'm not good at starting a conversation, what the warm up to me is, if they're a brand new client to you, is setting the expectations at an appointment. So walking them through, this is what we're going to do. First, we're going to sit down. I'm going to ask you some questions. We're going to have this appointment. I'm going to ask you some questions. Some of them might seem like they're out of nowhere, but Ben, I am a full service agent. I will make sure that you're taken care of in every area you feel you have risk. I need to know about that so I know how to help you out in the future. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Once I ask you some questions and I get to know you a little bit better, we're going to look at some coverage options. I'm going to tell you what's available to you, give you some like pros and cons of each one. Once you make a decision on which way you would like to lead, we're going to again look at some carriers. I'm going to shop because I can represent all carriers.
Yep.
So I'm going to look at the carriers and let you know kind of what carriers I recommend, what my other clients' experience with them. Then we're going to fill out the application.
Yep.
We're going to get you underwritten if that's going to be required. I'm going to let you know your likelihood of being approved. And then I'm going to get you set up as my client.
Yep.
I'll let you know. We'll kind of go through next steps after that.
Yeah.
I'm setting them the process. So when I start asking Ben about his height or his weight, which by the way, we talked about this last time, Ben, you weren't here. It's so funny that when we sit, we're the same height. And you were a solid, almost foot taller.
Wait, you
than
guys
me.
talked about my torso?
We talked about your torso last time. Anyways, I just, my attention span can't handle it. That's diabolical. Anyways, but we'll talk about like whenever I'm asking you about your income, when I'm asking you about your activity level, when I'm asking you about your travel plans, I set the expectation. You need a box to sit on, my guy. You'll understand the expectations of why I'm asking you those questions, so they're not coming out of nowhere and you feel a little bit more at comfort. It's not out of nowhere that I'm asking those.
I always view it from like a training perspective. When you're warming up a specific workout, you're still doing the motions of everything just at a lighter weight. So that way your muscles and your body understands when this starts getting pressure or harder to do. We're already familiar with the steps. So that warm up is, is helping your client be prepared for some of the stuff that you'll be doing throughout the appointment process.
For all of my live watchers out there, Michelle, I'm going to answer your question. I want to get to that. We will answer that. But Sean Sullivan asked, did we get Mike this week? Did we get an Alex for Mike? A Mike for Alex. Alex has said he's not confident enough to turn it on live stream. Honestly, Alex, at this point, I'm upset for your lack of a microphone. It's truly an issue. Your manager will be hearing from me. Number 3, and just with the warm up, if they are a current client of yours or a return client, this is whenever you draw on your CRM of personal information about them, their cat's name, their kid's name, things that like a friend would know, because you're trying to rekindle that like we're friends. I care about you holistically. I am somebody that you can trust. So if it's a recurring client, bring up stuff that only a friend would know. That sounds creepy coming out of my mouth. Bring up things that somebody that would have a prior relationship would know, and to store the information. A good CRM will help you with your warm-up tools. 10 out of 10. Recommend. Next, I would highly recommend my next step, and this is going to be step number 3. It is by far the most important step, and it is your fact-finding. Fact-finding is, again, I think the single most important. Number 1, fact find. If you fact find correctly, your cross-selling is not cross-selling. You're just giving them the products they already asked for, right? So I think cross-selling happens in the fact-finding portion of the appointment, because again, it's all about setting expectations. If you're asking them questions about their experience with cancer, you're asking them questions about how they're recovering, their fear of nursing homes, if you're asking them how are they funding certain things, and judging how uncomfortable they are with that risk, it doesn't feel sleazy or uncomfortable to bring up that product later. You're just simply prescribing them a solution to a fear that they have.
Correct.
So huge into fact finding. There are 2 methods of fact finding. There's the form fill out, and then there's the conversation. We should do a full episode on fact finding in the future. Write that down, write that down, write that down, write that down. We'll do an episode on how to appropriately, or the methods of fact finding in the future. Yes, Michelle, she said, I created a single page checklist this year. That's one of the form ones. I love combining the 2 methods of fact finding of both the form and the conversation. Huge. But if you're uncomfortable with fact finding, or if your clients don't feel the urgency behind the products that you're recommending, it's because you didn't fact find appropriately. So most issues or most no's in an appointment can come down to your fact finding.
Let me ask you this, Olivia.
No.
Okay.
Moving on. Just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do you feel that a majority of agents, I guess maybe I should have waited till the end of all the 8 steps, but of all of the steps, which step do you feel like agents could improve the most in?
I have 2.
You have 2.
Fact finding and education.
And education.
And that education is actually the next step. So hell of a transition, my guy. Fact finding, because I think agents don't ask enough questions because Medicare has become a commodity. You're either going left or right. You're going MedSup or Medicare Advantage. Very few times will people stick on just original Medicare or stick on Cobra or their group plan. Like, very rarely is one or the other not the options, right? So agents tend to ask questions to answer that. Are you a MedSup or are you a Medicare Advantage? They tend to lean all of their questions into that. And the next part of that is going to be the education. And I feel that agents and this is where we had a lot of questions last time, agents get really caught up in teaching their clients Medicare, and they spend an exorbitant amount of time teaching them the inner workings of Medicare. We see that primarily with veteran agents because they want to show their expertise, they want to show their knowledge, they want to show their value add as their inner workings of Medicare. There are better ways to prove that you're a Medicare expert versus creating more Medicare experts. Your clients don't want to know at Medicare. That's why they're coming to you. They need to know where they're going to be affected. And where a lot of agents spend the majority of their time educating their clients being how Medicare works, they spend no education on where Medicare doesn't work. They spend no time educating people about how the nursing home coverage is not covered in Medicare. Dental, vision, hearing, how that actually work. Cancer, it's the number one cause of medical bankruptcy. People, back in 2016, JAMA discovered that people who get diagnosed with cancer on a Medicare supplement are still expected to spend $6,000 per year out of pocket on a Medicare supplement. So we spend so much time and so much effort educating about how somebody's Part A deductible works, how many pints of blood they can get, how their Part B deductible works, things that they have very little interaction with, and spend no time educating them on the things that will actually financially disrupt their lives.
Yeah. I think it calls into question. I mean, obviously, like, I'm not on Medicare, but I have certain questions on, like, what does employer group coverage? I don't care about a majority of the things that it covers, but I am very particular about the ones that me and my family are expected to experience.
Well,
and I think you have to have that.
Yeah. It's like I use the equivalent of getting my oil changed. I don't want to know how my car works, right? It might be why I blew up a car before. Other than that, I don't really care to know how my car works. I want to take it to a mechanic and say, the light is on. Please stop that from happening. Or I want to say, the book told me I need to get my oil changed. Can you please do? If they sit there and spend the time telling me everything that they're doing, and it's part of the requirements for me to take my car to them is for them to teach me how my car works, I'm not going back and I'm not referring them. I don't want to do it myself. I want to hire an expert to do it. A lot of agents who spend hours educating people on Medicare don't get the referrals because nobody wants to put their friends through that.
Right.
Like I you know, and I will say this isn't a one solves all. I will tell you, lawyers, doctors, teachers, they want to know everything about Medicare. If you have a lawyer, a doctor, or a teacher, you put some extra time in your appointment to handle those. Nobody else really cares.
Yeah.
Now, you got to educate them on what it's going to affect them. You do have to educate them on what they're going to experience. Honestly, this should be a Medicare Cafe series, is taking and really breaking down each step of the appointment, each step part of that. And maybe we'll do that, is break down each 8-week series on how to do this, because I do have to move on to the next step. If you guys would be interested in that, like stopping and actually breaking down and doing an episode per step of the appointment process, let me know. I think the more I talk about it, there's just so much and so many different ways to do this. I think it'd be really cool.
100%.
So number 4 is educate, uncover the needs. I kind of covered that. Anything that a person needs to know about their Medicare is actually covered. I think it's like page 8 of the Medicare and You Handbook, where it's just the 2 pathways messed up. That's 99% of what your clients need to know about original Medicare, about Medicare. If obviously you're selling them a Medicare Advantage plan, you have to do a compliant sales presentation, which is explaining the benefits of that Medicare Advantage plan, but that will come later, right? This is just educating them, uncovering the need, primarily focusing on where Medicare falls short, which is often. Number 5 is going to be presenting solutions. So what I like about this is whenever you're listening to them, you're not presenting them carriers, you're presenting them a benefit package. So if they're going Medicare supplement route, it would be, Ben, based on this, I've had other clients try this route. Let's see if it works for you. I think you would be best fit with a Medicare supplement plan. We'll need to get your drugs covered, so we'll pair that with the Medicare Advantage part. And then based on your family history and your financial plans, we probably need to add a cancer insurance policy to that. I've had other clients who are similar situations of you do that. It's worked out for them. Let's try it.
Okay.
low pressure, but the big thing here is that you need to be asking about a yes. This is where a lot of agents fall short, is that they'll talk themselves out of sales. They can't get into the education. It's hard for them to get to the prescription route. So this is where you shut up, you stop talking, you present the solution to them, no carriers added, and just get a yes or no from them. If it's a no, revisit. There's a way to overcome objections. Another great cafe episode would be ways to overcome objections. We'll get into that. If they say yes, then you move on to the next part of it, which is going to be the application and presenting, again, continuing to present the solutions and applications. This is when you get out Integrity Connect, start putting in, shopping plans, your CSG, shopping med subs, looking at carrier sites to see what cancer plan, and that's not cancer company, it's what cancer benefits are best for them. Would love to talk more about that, but I have 2 more minutes before we need to close up. So I want to get into that. Then you fill out the application. You're asking them questions. Again, it's okay to ask them height and weight questions. It's okay to ask them health questions, because in the warm up, you let them know that you set the expectations that you were going to be asking them health and financial questions. So when you start doing that with the application, there's less of a wall because they're already expecting you to ask that. And then step 7 is setting the expectations, which is kind of letting them know, like, we're going to get a response from the underwriters probably in the next couple weeks. Because, like, if they think, like, oh, I'm going to get a response tomorrow, and you know that the response isn't coming for the next couple weeks, their expectations were not met. So, like, truly setting the expectations of the carrier, setting the expectations of your staff, setting the expectations of you. Like, if your clients are confused as to why you're calling them throughout the year, and if you're not calling your clients throughout the year, there's a problem there. But if your clients are confused as to why you're needing to do a follow-up appointment, why you're reaching out to them, why you're calling them, you didn't set the expectation correctly of what it's like to be your client, and that you take care of them holistically. It's not a one and done thing. So, setting the expectation of the appointment. Okay, so you have a bigger name on the other phone. We get it. Well, no, I just want to be able to continue to do this, so I got to go take that call. I just want to help people. I just want to help. Promise, Phil. I have no other priorities other than my employment and you. That's it. It's that. My family is way later in the line. Yeah. Guys, let me know what you think. If you would like to take an episode per step and really break down, I don't know, you may not get a choice. I just might like that a little too much. Yeah. If you don't like it, tell me maybe. Tell me what you want to do, but would love to take an episode per step and really break down what that looks like, what you should accomplish, how to overcome the objections, how to transition between steps. I would love to, but really want to have some conversation about, like, what does your appointment process look like? Because without a good, solid appointment process, you have nothing to build on. You have nothing to know to go off of, like, how to make that better.
You have to have something in place. It's kind of the idea of, like, you can't get where you want to be without knowing where you currently are.
It sounds like something a turtle would say in the Panda movie.
Yeah, the turtles are always smart.
The turtles are so smart.
The one that turned into cherry blossoms?
Panda Express. That's not the one. Kung Fu Panda. Kind of the same thing.
Well, maybe?
The future is a gift.
The future is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Yesterday was a mystery. No, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is mystery, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
That's the one.
Okay.
Godlike quote.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. No, Michelle, to answer your question, to sidetrack, because find the track we're supposed to be on, and then maybe we'll agree if it's a sidetrack or not. Can we attend the boot camp again that was done last fall? I find it better. I find I build better that way, re-educating myself 100%. We will be doing a ton of events, including the AEP bootcamp, actually opening that up to a bigger audience next year, making that even bigger, because we had 100 agents in a room kind of on accident. So we're going to be much more intentional with our spacing next year and really excited about that. Yes, 100%. Let me know if you guys want to do a episode per step. If you don't answer me, I'm going to do it anyways. But at least this way you feel like you have a say, because I really like that. Ben, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I always appreciate having Ben on, because you do such a great job of being the agent voice of what you're hearing, what you're seeing, everything in between. Thank you, Flores.
Hey, look, I made it in the chat. Look, Mom, it's me.
Look, Mom, it's me. Until next time, my friends, have fun.
Make money.
And give impeccable service. Thanks, y'all.